Life will never be the same.
What's up, everyone? It's Rob Deboer with your Friday Fitness Tip from Prove It, coming to you actually from the basement of one of my best friends, Prove It CEO Brian Underwood, and wanted to continue our series called Understanding Energy. And over the past couple of weeks, here's what we've come to learn. Energy can be measured both in the blood and calorically. In other words, blood ketones and blood glucose are a result of caloric intake. And what we've also come to learn is that micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, stimulants, caffeine, drugs, various herbs that have energy yielding properties are not a true form of energy. In fact, if you try to live on vitamins and minerals and stimulants, you'll quickly realize that that is not a true source of energy at all. So for this segment, I wanted to title it Smart Energy and where to get it. For those of you that follow me on Facebook, Coach Rob Deboer, you will see posts from time to time that are just very basic, misunderstood comments in the fitness world. There's so many people that spend $500, they get a training certification, they put some letters behind their name, and all of a sudden they're personal trainers and gurus. And that's okay, because there's plenty of incredibly smart, much smarter than me, trainers and fitness professionals out there. But one thing that is common is the best way to lose body fat. And I just made a simple post that said, the best way to lose body fat is to keep muscle. And unfortunately, not many people realize that. Their belief is it's lots of cardio or fasting or intermittent fasting, or bottom line, the more muscle you keep and actually gain, the better and more efficient your body is at dropping and utilizing body fat as an energy source. So therein lies the million-dollar question. As it relates to KetoOS, our ketone operating system, we're the #1 supplier in the entire world of ketone supplementation to the consumer market. And what that means is we've seen it all. There's people that will talk about fasted cardio. There's people that will talk about intermittent fasting. All of that's great. We can debate various topics. But the purpose of this video is to explain how smart your body is and where smart energy really should come from. Here's the example. You're someone who missed a meal, or you're at a calorie deficit. Your body is very smart. It doesn't care what it looks like in the mirror. It doesn't care what the scale says. It doesn't care what you look like in a swimming suit. What it does care about is surviving and making sure that your vital organs have the energy that they need to function properly. As a result, it's going to find and make energy if you don't give it energy. And there is a process called gluconeogenesis. Genesis, the creation, glucose, right? So our body will actually create its own glucose when there is an absence of energy. And how does it do it? It breaks down at your expense protein. Your body is made of protein. Your nails, your hair, your muscles, everything is made of the amino acid profiles. And protein is compromised when your body enters into this glucose creating phase called gluconeogenesis. I don't want to sound super smart because I'm not, but what I do want to portray is things aren't always as they seem. When people are at a calorie deficit, it doesn't mean your body automatically says, okay, well, there's no glucose or glycogen. We'll go to body fat. We'll preserve and protect the muscle. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I use the analogy all the time. You look at these waif-thin supermodels, yet they have a high body fat ratio as related to their body composition. Why is that? Because of gluconeogenesis. When they're starving themselves, they may be very skinny, but it's that term we've all come to know called skinny fat. They're very mushy. Why? Their body has utilized protein to such an extent to create energy so that body can survive, that it has compromised lean muscle mass and now is just basically in survival mode. That's what we don't want. So, what does that have to do with Ketones, the ketone operating system from Prove It? Glad you asked. Ketones are very protein sparing. When we measure muscle breakdown, there's 3 amino acids specifically, valine, leucine, isoleucine. And ketone is proven clinically, just so much research to suggest that ketones will preserve and protect that breakdown from happening. What does that mean? When you're at a caloric deficit, when you skip breakfast, when you do anything that will put your body into a catabolic condition, a breaking down condition. In other words, if you're working out, you're breaking down muscle. If you're doing cardio, you're breaking down muscle. Anytime you are at a catabolic condition, or your body needs energy and is going to make its own, what if we could feed it ketones? I think our 3.0 version is the greatest pre-workout product on the planet. Why? Because it's just straight 56 calories of ketones. There's no fats, very little stimulant via caffeine. So the ketones are really the magic in that product. So you can take this 30 minutes before a quote-unquote fasted workout and prevent the breakdown of muscle. That's exactly what you want. You can take this during meal deprivation, or if you skip a meal. We never encourage that, but maybe you run out the door and you haven't eaten, or it's going to be 4, 5, 6, several hours before you eat. Guess what? Ketones are a great damage control vehicle for you to maintain and preserve lean body mass, your protein, forcing your body to tap in and find another means, which is what we ultimately want, our body fat stores. So think about it this way. What if we could continually tell our body, we're going to feed you something that protects protein. We're going to continue to feed you this caloric fuel source that's very efficient. It's called ketones. We're going to feed you this caloric energy source called ketones that's going to preserve and protect your muscle. It's going to give you mental focus. It's not going to require an insulin response. That is why, in my opinion, this is the greatest product on the consumer market right now for every purpose, from the infant to the elderly and everyone in between. And also, I believe it'll be the biggest conversation over the next decade or two. It truly is that innovative, and it is that far-reaching into every demographic by simply preserving, protecting muscle, and giving you what I call smart energy. That's your Friday Fitness tip from Prove It. Hope it helps. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.